Okay, our question for today is one of you wrote in and said, my 11th grader, we kind of dropped the ball on his spelling, his writing, and his reading skills, and now headed into 11th grade or into 12th grade. What do we do? How do we help him? How do we bring him up to grade level on that? And what are your thoughts?
Well, again, it's unfortunate we're not dialoguing back and forth, because it would be very helpful for me to know some of the background. Have you used anything? You know, have you tried programs and they have not worked for you? Is there a reason why the delay? Is he dyslexic? There are a lot of holes in this that we're kind of floundering to try to figure it out.
Or is it just that it's not something you focused on at all and it's just been ignored? So maybe there's no physical reason, it's just an issue of we just never hit it. We never tackled
exactly. That. And here at Timberdoodle, we get questions from all walks of life. If you adopted a child and they were 14 years old, I mean, so a lot of different things could be at play here, and we don't know.
Yeah.
But where I would start first of all is testing. So test your child and see, go to our site, look at Spelling UC, take their test and see where does he fall in that. If he can test out of all the Spelling UC tests well enough that he doesn't need to do Spelling UC, as far as I'm concerned, that's okay, and tick that one off. If not, then plug him into the appropriate one and start working on it. And it's an easy enough program that you could zip through it. You don't have to just do one a day. You can try to fast forward through the whole program. So I would go with that. For grammar, I would go with Easy Grammar Plus.
Yeah.
It's designed specifically for that, so you would cover everything in grammar in a year. Easy peasy.
Yeah.
For reading.
Yeah, for reading.
Reading is going to be hard. And again, I don't know what we're working with here. Are we talking about a child who knows how to read but hates it, or a child who doesn't know how to read? And it might behoove you to take the All About Reading placement to see, okay, yes, he can read at the appropriate level, or no, he cannot. And if he cannot, again, he may feel silly using All About Reading 4th grade level. But better to feel silly and master it than to never master it. Reading's pretty important. However, if you have a child who does know how to read but hates it, it's probably going to have something to do with what he's reading. Yeah. So find out what he wants to read. My son, he would light up for any firefighter magazine. So even when he was 8, we subscribed to Firefighter magazine, and he would read that. He wouldn't read things that his sister read, but he would read that. For this particular boy, it might be skateboarding, it could be farming, it could be aerodynamics, I don't know. But find out what his passion is and just flood him with books and trade magazines and anything else that would deal with that topic.
Yeah. And if he's not ever going to be a reader, I think that's an acceptable answer too. He knows how to read. We've tested for that. He is capable of reading. He doesn't enjoy it, and that's okay. But if it's an issue, if he can't read, then you're going to want to see if you can help him out with that and get him up to grade level and to ability.
Right. So
I think that should answer that question.
I think the only other thing that we talked previously about is there's some advantage to having a familiarity with some of the classic literature. He may hear it mentioned in a sermon or in a speech or whatever, and he will feel more comfortable in those kind of settings if he knows the reference. So if you have a child who hates to read or cannot read, and you still want to give them some taste of the classic literature, audible books is a great way to go.
Do an audiobook, and then they'll have at least exposure to it and be somewhat familiar with it. That's a great way to go.
Right.
So a couple more things we should clarify and say. If his lack of not being up at grade level is not due to lack of exposure, but it's just because he struggles more, so he's got dyslexia or whatever, there are other things that we can, if you want to email us specifics or whatever, we can direct you towards, such as TTRS, which is a typing program that specifically assists with spelling and reading. And is specifically helpful for the dyslexic student. So there's other, if there are specific reasons he's not up at grade level that you know of, then we are happy to consult with you and say, hey, we think this product will
Right.
assist him best.
Right.
The other area we didn't hit would be composition. What would you recommend for that?
For that, I would recommend Jump In.
Okay.
It's a great program, and it's going to be it's in our 5th grade program, but it can be used for whatever age. And again, you as a parent, you would look at the work that the child turned out, and you would say, "No, that you didn't give your best effort," or you did. And so it's one that has the most flexibility to the program, and yet accomplishes what you're trying to do.
Sounds good. And that would be for a religious perspective. And if you're coming from a non-religious perspective, probably something like Wordsmith Craftsman or Wordsmith Student would be more along the lines of what you're looking for composition.
Exactly, yeah.
And I think that answers it. Again, if you have some specifics that you think would be helpful for us to know and help us to better answer this question, we're always happy to take your guys' questions at mailbag@timberdoodle.com and work with you and see if we can help you tailor a program that would specifically address what your child's concerns are.
You can't give us too much information.
No, you can't. So, thank you.